That was a slow entrance there, man.
It's taking a while.
Welcome to Real Fake Stories, Week 2.
Week number 2. We are Real Fake Facts. I'm Breck.
I'm Beth.
And we are the B team.
Proudly the B team. So, Real Fake Stories is when we share 3 stories with you. 2 of them are fake, 1 of them is real, and you have to figure out which one's real and which was fake, and comment below.
And then we will tell you whether it's fake or real.
Right, so I think we're gonna do 5 days after. We're gonna pin a comment to tell you which one's which, so that can make you, so you can keep guessing for 5 whole days.
So, subscribe, wait for that drop, and be prepared.
All right, story number 1.
Number 1!
Humans travel a lot of different ways, and most of them have been getting better over time.
Sure, I got faster at running.
Yeah, that's a good example. Since cars and trains have become a common way to travel, they have both improved. Cars were made to only go 10 miles per hour at first.
Are you serious?
10 miles per hour, that's it. And now they travel on average 70 miles per hour on highways throughout the United States.
Yep, we go that slow on the freeway as well.
We have made cars more aerodynamic, and now we even have electric cars.
Right.
The now we're switching to trains.
Okay.
First trains went slower than 10 miles per hour, so they went even slower than the first cars. Now the fastest train in the world right now in Japan is the SC Maglev, and I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. It goes 311 miles per hour at top speed.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is in Japan?
Japan, yes. So one thing that hasn't got any faster though, we've had cars get faster, trains get faster, but planes have not gotten faster. Okay, I know. There are some planes, and we have jets that do actually go faster than ever before. We're trying to break the speed of sound, right?
Right.
I'm talking about commercial planes and what we travel on, like when we're flying to New York or whatever.
Okay.
They have stayed the same speed for 60 years.
That's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah. So how come we haven't come up with a faster way?
Wait. Worldwide?
Worldwide. This is another reason why if you picked like an American flight or a United flight, they would basically have the same travel speed, because there's a top speed that you can go.
Do tell. I'm interested.
Okay, so it took 6 hours and 35 minutes to fly from New York to San Francisco in the 1960s, and it still takes the same amount of time today. The wing of a plane is a teardrop shape called an airfoil, and it allows air to travel fast over the wing and slower under the wing. This is what creates lift and what actually makes the plane work.
Nerd alert!
When you start flying at 80% the speed of sound, the air going over the airfoil starts going so fast it's about to break the sound barrier. So this creates shock waves, and while it might be shocking, it's not good for flying because shock waves create drag and can actually even slow down the plane. So once you get to 80% of the speed of light, you actually, even if you try to go faster, are actually ending up going slower. So
It's a little confusing.
it is a little confusing, but hopefully you're with me.
Okay.
We obviously can go faster by adding lots more fuel, which is why we have jets and why we have planes that can actually go faster.
Right.
But the reason we don't do that is because it would add tons more cost to flying commercially. So they found a happy medium between cost and speed, and that's where they've stayed for 60 years. So we only fly 590 miles per hour on every flight, and of course there's weather and other things that can affect time or speed that you're going. But in the future, it probably still will take 6.5 hours to fly from New York to San Francisco. That's it. Story number 1.
Number 1.
What do you think, real or fake?
Okay, you definitely sounded very scientific, so it's hard to say whether or not that's not true. I wouldn't put it past you. You are an engineering student, and so you definitely could come up with something fake.
I definitely can, yes. I come up with fake facts all the time on my homework and stuff.
Okay, I don't know.
All right, here we go. Story
Sweet.
number 2.
Number 2! Great. Some of you that have listened to our previous video from last week, know that I gave the story about poodles. Well, I have another story about a cute creature. Now, here we are. I hope most of you have heard of the Grand Canyon. It is one of the most famous natural landmarks in the world. And as an outdoor rec major, if you have not heard of what the Grand Canyon is, I am ashamed to know you and don't want to know that you don't know until you know what the Grand Canyon is.
Basically, you gotta go Google the Grand Canyon, figure it out, otherwise we can't be friends.
This is just true. Okay, so at the bottom of the Grand Canyon and a few miles up the river is a place that you probably don't know about, and it's okay if you don't. That is Lake Powell. Lake Powell, in my opinion, is probably one of the best places on earth. On one of the trips down that Beth and our family went, I heard about how Lake Powell was actually made.
Oh, I'm interested.
Okay, many years ago, Lake Powell Canyon was just a normal canyon. There wasn't much to this stretch of the river, and truthfully, no one paid any attention to it because the Grand Canyon was a way better place to visit, which existed even at that time. Now, one group of animals did care about it though. A raft of river otters loved this canyon.
Ooh, river otters, huh?
Yes.
Oh, and it is called a raft. A group of river otters is called a raft. It's so cute. They come together and they like make a little raft.
They hold on.
I know, it's so
through
cute.
the night. Okay, now no one's quite sure why this little family lived in the area. It was much warmer and still is much warmer than other parts. But this is where that little otter and their family decided to live. Okay, one day, swimming along the section, the river otters noticed something. Right before some really tall walls, there was some sand built up, and the water flowing down was getting caught into an eddy and was making a nice swimmable pool.
Oh, cool.
So the river otters thought this spot, the little eddy, was the best place, and they decided that through the currents that came into it and the currents coming out, that it was the best spot to play and to live.
So they lived at this little pool.
Yes, they really lived, and this is why. They used all the resources they had, even pooping around the sand spot, to build up the pool and make the eddy bigger. And slowly, ever so slowly, their eddy started growing.
Okay, wow. They used everything they had.
Everything they had. After a while, their little hands had piled up enough sand, and I guess their little butts had pooped up enough poop. And the pool was very large and starting to attract the attention of other animals. The fish and lizards found it a really cool place to go, and because of that, birds decided to start going there to start eating. And after a few years, much of Bullfrog Bay was filled with water. So, Lake Powell was already steadily growing from this construction crew of critters long before Grand Canyon Dam was built. And it seems like us humans are always trying to catch up with the animals that were there before us.
So these animals got to play at Lake Powell before humans ever did?
I mean, yes.
Wow, I'm jealous.
But you know, you gotta give them, a fair play, fair space.
Give them some credit.
Give them some credit. You gotta give them credit because they built Lake Powell.
They built Lake Powell, played in it, and I that makes sense.
And then more of Lake Powell came to be.
Gotcha. That's a good story.
Why, thank you.
That was story number 2.
Story number 2. Real or fake?
Oh, I don't know. It seems hard to believe. I mean, river otters definitely do live in Colorado River. I've actually seen a river otter at Lake Powell.
I was there too. I saw it with you.
Oh, were you there that time?
Maybe.
Awkward.
I don't know. You've been going a long time, so.
So river otters actually live there. I just don't know if they could build up that much sand.
Well, you would be surprised.
This is story number 3.
Number 3!
All right, I love this story. It's one of my favorites. High in the mountains of China, many years ago, Yuzha was like every other person in the world. He worked hard for his family, farming rice and other plants, as well as taking care of their goats. It was a hard job, getting up early in the morning and working till sundown, like most farmers, He inherited the beautiful farm in these hills from his father, and his family had lived there and worked these fields for generations. It felt really fulfilling and honorable to work the same land that has kept his family alive and well for years.
Sure.
Yuzha gets up each morning and starts his day with walking around the whole farm. He feeds the goats and makes sure everything is in order. Recently, though, he's been noticing that on the border between his farm and the forest, there have been a lot of holes in the ground. It didn't bother Udza at first because they were on the forest side, but for about a week now, when on his walk, he's been noticing these holes have stretched into his rice fields.
Okay, that's believable.
These holes were small and seemed to be randomly digging up his rice, and he's worked so hard to cultivate it. And never seen this before, he had to stay up all night to see what was doing it. One night, he decided to figure out what was doing all this damage, so he stayed up all night waiting for the pest, when a rather cute little bear emerged from the bamboo and started digging.
Panda bear, wait.
Shocked by how cute it looked, he did nothing but just watch. The little cutie was eating the roots of the rice.
It's a gremlin.
Maybe. Apparently, the little guy thought it tasted amazing and came to get a treat every night. In the morning, Udza was mad. How could this little creature suddenly come and start eating his food? It caused so much damage that if it was not stopped, it was going to make him and his family starve over the winter. Under his breath, while he planned a way to stop this little creature, he called him the evil panda. After a while, Udzu found out that all he had to do was create a border of cut bamboo around his rice farm to keep the pest busy eating that instead of his rice. But the name he whispered under his breath became the name of the creature, and when it was translated to English, or evil, panda, didn't really sound so good. So based on the story, the people who translated to English translated it to really evil digger panda, or R-E-D panda, red panda. Red pandas are actually my spirit animal.
True. You are seeing the spirit animal form of a red panda, and me, I am a American red fox.
Yes, we're a good team. We match up very nicely.
Bark.
That was story number 3.
Number 3.
All right, so your job now is to decide between the 3 stories which one was real, because there are 2 fake ones and 1 real one, and you're going to comment below. And in 5 days, we'll pin a comment on which one was real and which one was fake, and you'll see if you were right.
Now, quick recap. Story number 1
was that planes have only gone 590 miles per hour for the past 60 years.
Number 2, river otters in Lake Powell.
Yeah, and they made Lake Powell.
But they made it. Number
3 was
really evil digger.
Really evil digger pandas.
Or red pandas.
Yeah. And don't forget to check out our short about red pandas.
Yes.
All right, so we are Real Fake Facts. I'm Beth.
I'm Breck.
And we're the B team. And keep a watch out for next week and our episode of Real Fake Stories.
See you next time.